Hello, it's Saturday the 10th of December and this is your Birmingham News Weekend magazine. And because it's the weekend, I'll be here with you for the next hour to take a look at what's going on around our area of Birmingham, Solihull, the Black Country and beyond. Yes, hello again and welcome to the Birmingham News Weekend magazine. Coming up on today's show, we'll start by taking our regular look at what's up on this week's community notice board. Then we'll turn to Carl Jones for his regular look at the silver screen. Des will join me for a look ahead to some of his What's On highlights for the coming week. And then Johnny Doom will return with his pick of the gigs. Jason Forrest from the Milk Bar will join us with a chat with another guest. And we'll remind ourselves what's been going on around our area too. So it's all within the pages of this week's Weekend magazine. So then, let's turn to the community notice board, and this is the news that you sent to us.
If there's something you'd like us to mention, then please do get in touch, but give us plenty of notice.
And welcome back again, Rich.
Oh, thank you very much.
How are you doing?
It's a pleasure. Yeah, well, not too bad.
Bit of a cold going on at the moment, have you?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Oh,
but we'll plough through this.
Wow. Now, if you do want to get in touch, then as always, we'll tell you how in a few minutes.
Wendy Bird has been in touch to let us know about some more of the things coming up for Christmas at St Bartholomew's Church, Churchill, Wednesbury. You might remember that we mentioned them last week.
Yeah, we did. Now, on Sunday, the 11th of December, it's the Christingle service, which is a fun and creative service for all ages, with Christmas craft activities and make your own Christingle. A collection will also be made for the Children's Society, and refreshments will be served after the service. But don't worry, though, if you're seeing this after the event, because there are other things coming up.
Next Saturday, the 17th of December, there's a Service of Light. It's a new service for all of those who find Christmas a difficult time of year. It'll be a quiet service of memory and remembrance for those who have suffered a breakup, a bereavement or are lonely.
And then on Sunday the 18th of December there's a carol service. It's a traditional lessons and carol service led by a gathered choir. Refreshments again will be served after the service, including their famous grey peas and bacon.
You call garung with grey peas and bacon.
I knew you'd say that.
So that's all to come at St Bartholomew's Church on Churchill in Wednesbury, and thanks to Wendy Bird for getting in touch and letting us know.
Yeah, thanks Wendy. She's promised to let us know about more things going on there as well. Now the festive party season is underway, and Birmingham City Council is encouraging revellers to stay safe and pre-book their taxis, as you might have seen in the news this week.
People are being reminded to check private hire drivers have their name before getting into the vehicle after a night out, and not to flag down private hire vehicles which are not allowed to pick up fares on the street.
Yeah, make sure you get home safely by pre-booking your journey home before going out, or make your way to an official taxi rank. Now the ranks in Broad Street and Hurst Street and Ladywell Walk are marshalled for added security, and you can also flag down a black cab.
Private hire drivers who accept fares on the street are not only committing an offence, but putting passengers at risk, as they would not be insured if it was involved in an accident.
Yeah, that's the main point. Now, during the party season, Birmingham City Council and West Midlands Police are keeping Christmas revellers safe by clamping down on private hire drivers who ply for hire and looking for unlicensed motorists posing as private hire drivers.
So only Hackney carriage vehicles, that's the traditional black cabs, pick up fares on the street. Private hire drivers can't unless you've booked them, and if you get into a private hire vehicle without booking it, you're not insured, so best to book.
Yeah, it's worth remembering that. Now, as you might expect, there's plenty coming up at Sandwells Libraries during this month. Family fun days, winter warmers and messy craft sessions are amongst the ways that you could get a festive buzz. There are craft and story sessions for children, quizzes and coffee mornings for adults at every library during December.
So, on Monday the 12th, there's an under fives Christmas party at Hampstead Library and Great Bar, with stories, crafts and party food.
Whenever I hear anything about that, I always wish I was under 5 again. It's not fair, is it? Best time of your life. On Wednesday the 14th, it's Christmas Choral at Greatbridge Library, featuring the Tipton Community Choir, plus mince pies and more.
On Thursday the 15th, there's a Christmas fun quiz at Glebefields Library. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
In Tipton. Get your brains working and join Nicola, the quizzer, with prizes for the winners and spot prizes along the way. For this one, you'll need to call the library on 0121 557 8641.
Yeah, I know Glebe Fields Library. Then on Saturday the 17th, a Christmas musical showcase at Thimblemill Library in Smethwick, featuring Christmas carols with the Bearwood Songsters and the Children's Ukulele Music Group. Oh, and there's free refreshments and mince pies too. Children's Ukulele Music Group.
Yeah,
enjoy
I might
it?
have to head along to that. So next on Monday the 19th, you can spend breakfast with Santa at Bleak House Library in Albury. There'll be Christmas stories and breakfast with Santa before he goes off to prepare for the big day. Tea and toast will be provided.
Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, anyway, for a full list of activities and events in libraries this Christmas, you can visit the library's web pages at www.sandwell.gov.uk/libraries, or you could just look up Sandwell Libraries on Facebook or follow at Sandwell Libs on Twitter.
Okay, so Sandwell Council's crematorium service has donated more than £4,300 to a charity supporting families who have lost babies to stillbirth and neonatal death. Representatives from SANS, which stands for Stillbirth and Neonatal Death, accepted the cheque from the council's deputy leader, Council Sayeeda Khartoon.
The donation to the charity is from the money raised by recycling metals left behind after cremations, such as hip and knee joints. Now, the council is part of a national recycling scheme run by the Institute of Cemetery and Crematorium Management. And when the metal's recycled, the scheme sends the council money to donate to a charity of its choice, with the recycled metal then used to make new implants. How fascinating, isn't it?
It is. The money donated will be put towards SANS work, which includes supporting anyone affected by the death of a baby, working with health professionals to make sure bereaved parents get the best possible care, and promoting and funding research to prevent the loss of babies' lives.
Now, SANS has two local groups, Birmingham SANS and Wolverhampton SANS, and both groups offer to support bereaved parents locally via monthly support meetings run by volunteers and through local helplines and emails. So to contact Wolverhampton SANS, you can call 07981 704 846 or email wolverhamptonsans, or one word, at yahoo.co.uk. And to contact Birmingham SANS, you can call 07709 425 001 and email support@birminghamsands.org.uk, or go to their website, which is www.birminghamsands.org.uk.
Staff from Tamworth Castle have officially presented with a prestigious national award for their outstanding education workshops for children, alongside world-renowned museums including Stonehenge and the Tower of London. Back in July, the Castle team received the news that they had been accredited with the Sanford Award for the third time.
Now, the Sanford Award is given to reward excellence in heritage and historic properties, where special provision has been made for educational visits by children of school age. And Tamworth Castle first received the award in 2007, then again in 2011. Now it's celebrating a hat-trick after its education programme once again gained the award.
Judges visited the castle earlier this year, where they observed the education and events team leading workshops on Saxon life for primary school children. The team was praised for delivering the programme in ways that engage, inform and inspire the children.
Tamworth Castle was in good company too, because amongst the 42 historic properties to receive the Sanford Award this year were Kensington Palace, the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust, Stonehenge and the Tower of London. Tamworth Castle will retain the Sanford Award accreditation for 5 years, after which it will be re-inspected, and good luck to them for retaining that next time.
And you might remember last week we mentioned Solihull's Disfest. Well, we've heard that it was a success. It took place last week on Tuesday the 6th and celebrated the talents and achievements of people living with disabilities and helped to promote their inclusion in all aspects of life.
Yeah, Disfest featured a range of exhibitors giving residents a chance to find out more about services available to people living with disabilities in Solihull. Visitors were also treated to a display of artwork produced by local disabled people.
The Mayor of Solihull, Councillor Mike Robinson, officially opened the art gallery at Disfest, and the art display will be available to view until Tuesday the 13th of December. It includes Tangled Up, which is a display that was produced by people with disabilities in conjunction with a local artist for Disfest.
There are also pieces from a local disabled artist, displays from Mere Stone and people who use solo, as well as portraits and write-ups from Solihull advocacy volunteers, and a collection of photos from other Disfest events held in the borough this year.
The event saw Solihull officially mark the UN International Day of People with disabilities, I'm assuming, and follows a series of successful events held throughout the year, including wheelchair rallies, coffee mornings and summer fetes. So to find out more about Disfest, have a look at solihull.gov.uk/Disfest.
Yeah. So there we go. That's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board.
Have you been sitting there hoping that we'd mention something, or do you know of something coming up soon that we ought to be talking about?
Well, then get in touch, but do make sure, as always, as we always say to you, please let us know in plenty of time.
So, how do you get in touch? Well, there are many ways, but your best bet is to email us at news@madeinbirmingham.tv.
Well, if social media is your thing, is it your thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Plenty of hashtags all over the place.
Yeah, that's it.
You can look us up and send a message at Made in Beeham TV.
And we'll have more for you at the same time next week.
Right, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, Carl will be here with his regular look at the silver screen, and then Des will join me for a look ahead to what's on during next week. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the programme with me, Lee Bannister. Now, Des will be joining me shortly for a look ahead to some of the highlights of what's on during the coming week in our area. And we'll also find out where he's going to be. Maybe you can go and find him. But first, it's time for a good old look at the silver screen. Fresh from his movie slot in the lowdown, here's our movie mogul. It's Carl Jones.
Thanks very much. Well, it's time to take a look at what's hot, maybe what's not as well in the world of cinema. Before we have a look at what's doing well at the box office this week, I want to switch over to our friend Steve Green, who's been out and about again, this time at the Grindhouse Film Festival over in Leicester, where more than 50 short films were being previewed, and nearly half of them were from Midlands filmmakers. He caught up with one of the organisers, Mark Hamill, no, not that one, to see what it was all about.
I'm here at Leicester's Shed venue to interview Mark Hamill. No, not that one. This chap's the organiser of the city's first Grindhouse Planet Film Festival. Mark, this is your first stab, I understand, at running a film festival. How do you think it's gone?
It's been brilliant, really. The turnout of the audience has been more than I'd hoped for, really. A lot of the filmmakers came along, and we've also had a lot of people coming off the street that have just seen the advertisement.
Well, you had about, what, 80, the membership of about 80 who did turn up pre-booked, and then about half again as many coming in, as you say, off the street.
Yeah, I think so. And it's still ongoing at the moment, so by the end of the night, we'll see how well we've done. But yeah, so far it's been really successful.
I mean, you've crammed an awful lot into the 12-hour schedule of 4 main features, plus, what, nearly 30 short films. Must have been quite a logistical challenge.
Well, I wanted to play as many films as possible, obviously, cramming to the time. Now, there was over 200 submissions to the festival.
Really?
Yeah, so we had to split it into finalists, basically, and all the finalists got played tonight. So the finalists were the potential award nominees. And I think in each category, there's roughly about 7 or 8 films in each category, and they all got played tonight.
And quite a few from Midlands filmmakers, I understand.
Yeah, what was surprising is the films are from all around the world. A lot of South American films. Grindhouse seems to be a big thing in South America at the moment, which I didn't know until I started running the festival. I mean, I've always been a Grindhouse fan, but I didn't know that it was such a big thing in certain other parts of the world. Australia, Canada, Japan. They've all been screened tonight, but what was surprising was the amount of films that made it through to the finals that were from the Midlands. And I didn't know this until I started sending out the invites to come to the awards. And you go, wow, that's like Birmingham.
So they didn't receive special treatment?
No, not at all. Yeah, Nottingham, Birmingham, Northampton. Yeah, it's amazing, really, like the talent that's in the Midlands.
That's good stuff. Well, of course, talk about local talents, because you're a filmmaker yourself. Do you think that gives you a special insight into the problems and difficulties of making a short film?
Oh, definitely. The budget restrictions is one of the main issues that I face, and most of my peers face. A lot of us have got the equipment. We're learning our trade, but there's always a budget limitation. Whereas Grindhouse, you don't have to have a big budget to make an extravagant film. So that's the reason I wanted to do a Grindhouse Festival, because it was a showcase for that type of filmmaker.
Thanks very much to Steve and to Chrissy behind the camera for that one. Now from one Mark Hamill to another, that's a very poor link, but talking about the new Star Wars film, which actually Mark Hamill isn't in, but Rogue One opens at our cinemas this coming weekend, only 6 or 7 days left now for you to get your annual fill of Star Wars, which is what it's effectively become. Now the West Midlands' own Felicity Jones, of course, tops the cast, and she got a taste of what it really is like to be part of the Star Wars fan universe when she appeared at the Celebration event in London a few weeks back. Here's a look at what she made of it all.
It was a real pinch me moment when we're all waiting nervously to go on stage and you can just hear people cheering, and actually what hits you is the affection, the warmth that was coming from the audience today for the franchise and for those characters, and actually it's just been such a wonderful experience. It really has. You can't help but be touched by those characters, and you have such empathy for them, and you invest in them, and I hope that in Rogue One we do the same. You feel the same when you watch it. It's called The Opening Crawl, exactly. So it's a group of unlikely heroes who band together to steal the plans to the Death Star. It was the first time that people had seen some of the behind-the-scenes footage, which is absolutely incredibly shot, and gave people, I think, an impression of how we've been working and the authenticity that we've been wanting to get in the film, and trying to make it feel as immersive as possible, and when you watch it that you're really rooting for those characters, and you want them to succeed, but you're there with them in those battles. That's what we hope people will feel.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story, opens at our cinemas on Friday, so not long to wait now. Before we go, have a quick look at the box office charts, and still dominating proceedings at number 1 is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, J.K. Rowling's return into the wizarding world. At number 2 is Allied. This is set in the 1940s, stars Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard, the story of a soldier who falls in love with a resistance worker only to be told she might be a spy. Animated movie Trolls is still doing well, still at number 3, and if you like your sci-fi, well, Arrival is number 4. That's Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. And if you like some dirty, mischievous, festive humour, Bad Santa 2 is the number 5 movie across the region this week. Don't forget, if you're involved in making a movie project and you'd like to tell me about it, send me an email to carl.jones@madeinbirmingham.tv. See you next week.
Thanks, Carl. And of course, there's more from Carl every weekday in The Lowdown, weeknights at 6:30 and again at 9:30. Also on The Lowdown, it's What's On, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hello, Des.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you
Good,
doing?
good. Yeah, good.
So where are you going to be this week?
We're going to be in the Hotel La Tour.
Oh, very posh.
Yes, it's
Remind me
just
where
down from Moore Street Station.
Oh, yes, I know the area, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice place. Even got a Marco Pierre White's restaurant in there as well.
That consolidates its poshness in my view.
Yeah. And also, here's a little hint. Next week, we're going to be at the Hippodrome in the foyer.
Oh.
Now, it's going to be one day next week in the morning. So if you're passing by and you see us, drop in and say hello.
That would be a nice idea, actually, if
Yeah.
we got like a crowd of people sort of sitting around you.
Yeah.
Whooping you up. You're used to that, though, being on stage.
Next
aren't you?
Tuesday, drop in and see us.
Cool, okay. So what is coming up this week?
Okay, well, we thought we'd catch up on the pantos. Obviously, Christmas time, everybody wants to go to see a panto, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
So we do a quick roundup. I mean, there's like Malcolm Stents at Solihull, and obviously at the Hippodrome there's a blinder. There's a great one at Wolverhampton. Doreen is
Doreen Tipton.
Yeah, brilliant. So she's definitely worth a visit. So we catch up on those. And also, because we did a look forward at the Hippodrome to their sort of summer musicals and everything, we thought we'd do one for the new Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've actually got some really good shows coming up, really good shows. One of which, and I've mentioned this before, my old mate Kevin Kennedy is in The Commitments, the musical. Now, I've got a story to tell you about Kevin very quickly, but when I worked with him, we played over in Dublin, and we had a rehearsal one day in this, I've no idea where it was outside of Dublin somewhere, rehearsal room. And we had a break and we went down to a bar, and we were walking back down the main road, and myself and Kevin, we were talking, and this little old lady came up. She had two shopping bags. And she walked up behind us. She linked Kevin's arm and she said, "Now listen, Curly, that woman you're with, she's no good. Get rid." And walked off, and Kevin looked at me and went like, "I can't believe this. Coronation Street gets everywhere." It's
People
unbelievable.
believe in it. That's
They
actually,
do.
I mean, that's a tribute to his character, if nothing else, isn't it?
It is, yeah. He's
He's
great.
lovely.
Kevin's lovely, and hopefully he's going to do a life stories with me.
Oh, good.
And he definitely said that the Lowdown would have access to the show. So
Wow.
yeah,
Watch
look
out
forward
for
to that. I've got another thing for Lowdown. I'm going now. I know we go out over the weekend, so on Sunday, if you're watching this on Sunday, I'm already there. But the Walk of Stars are presenting Don McLean and Toyah, and I'm actually covering it for Lowdown.
Oh, brilliant.
So that's going to be coming out next week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be saying hello to, I know Bev's got Bevan. I think all my Life Stories guests are going to be there. Don's there, Jasper's there, Bev's there.
You're in good company.
Yeah. So that'd be good. Moscow State Circus, how about that?
Oh, well,
Coming to the Star City.
I would love to go and see that. I've said it before. I've never been
Yeah.
to see it. I've seen it on the telly and
Yeah.
it's been featured on Blue Peter, but never in person.
State of the art, big top, and
Yeah.
some amazing things. And of course, the circus have had to redevelop things now. So yeah, couple of music things. Matt Goss, you remember Bros?
I do actually, from my secondary school years.
He has done a most amazing new version of When Will I Be Famous?
Really?
Yeah. Show a clip of it on our What's On thing next week. Check it out. It's absolutely brilliant, Matt Goss. Love him. Status Quo, Barclaycard Arena.
Still going strong.
Yeah, and now here's one. Just if you're going to see Donny Osmond at Genting Arena, check the date on your ticket, because the day before and the day after Black Sabbath are on.
Oh.
And I would hate for you to end up on the wrong night, because you can imagine what that's going to be like.
They're slightly different, aren't they? Really? You imagine that?
And that's it.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so you're on the Lowdown every week.
We are, yeah.
6:30, 9:30.
Yeah.
And again overnight in the morning as well.
Yeah, and don't forget, next Tuesday, the Hippodrome foyer in the morning. If you're going by, drop in and say hello.
Be there. Cheers, Des. Welcome back to the show with me, Lee Bannister. Now, time for a look back across the week from Birmingham News. And recently, the City of Wolverhampton's famous Man on the Horse statue received a visit from the Duke of Gloucester, no less. Well, last week there was another royal visitor, but not quite what you might think. It was the culmination of a week of celebrations with the Central Youth Theatre reenacting the moment that Queen Victoria first unveiled the statue of her husband 150 years ago. We saddled Norman Bartlam with reporting duties.
We are going to travel 150 years back in time to welcome Her Royal Highness Queen Victoria to Wolverhampton. The people of Wolverhampton are most honoured that you have joined us for the unveiling of this very special sculpture dedicated to the memory of your dear late husband, the Prince Consort.
The Queen was said to be so impressed that she knighted the Lord Mayor on the spot.
I hereby knight you. Arise, Sir John Morris.
Oh, very good, sir. Very good.
Your Majesty, I am your humble servant. I am deeply humbled by the honour you have bestowed upon me.
Once the statue had been unveiled, applause and cheering rang out across High Green.
Ladies and gentlemen, the City of Wolverhampton.
The main acting roles in the 1866 reconstruction were performed by members of the award-winning Wolverhampton Central Youth Theatre.
So with me now is Queen Victoria. It's really good for you to come to Wolverhampton today.
Yes, I chose Wolverhampton in particular because some widows sent me a letter that really resonated with me in my period of mourning. But it was a good day.
I enjoy what I do. I enjoy performing, acting, and I love my city as well. So I've really enjoyed today. It was lovely to see such a wonderful turnout.
Now, with Christmas fast approaching, West Midlands Police are warning motorists about the dangers of driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Their annual campaign will run throughout the month of December and crack down on motorists driving under the influence. Olivia Marks reports.
All it takes is one accident and the repercussions can last years. The severity of driving under the influence of drink and drugs are being shown to locals in a campaign run by West Midlands Police during the lead up to Christmas.
If those people who are thinking about having a drink or potentially having drugs and then going out and driving, this will show them the dangers of doing that and hopefully stop them getting behind the wheel.
Officers are taking a simulator across the region which creates the effects of drink driving so people can understand and experience the dangers of this.
We've put some software into the vehicle which simulates normal driving, and then we've got some software in there which also mimics driving whilst under the influence of drink and under the influence of drugs as well. And what we're trying to show people is that we don't want people during this Christmas festive period going out there and drink driving, because we can show them in a safe environment on this simulator exactly what the dangers are and that the potential of a collision is high.
During last year's campaign, 54 out of 130 motorists test positive for drugs and 176 motorists failed breathalyser tests. Catherine Holland suffered serious injuries after she was riding her motorcycle and a drunk driver crashed into her.
Well, my leg was smashed, the leg he drove straight into, and I bled very quickly, and I died for a little while. I was quite aware that I'd left my body and I could see it lying in the road. And I made a decision, a voice in my head asked me, and it was me asking, do you want to carry on where there's no pain, or do you want to go back and see your children grow up?
Catherine's turned her experience into a positive and has written an inspirational book on her journey.
My recovery was based on the fact that I had done a lot of personal and physical training beforehand, mostly the breath work, but also I'd experimented with whole food and raw food. And I exercised. I was very fit at the time. So I think really the message is, if you prepare yourself for anything, when something horrible happens, you survive and you can go on and you can get well and lead a normal life.
Catherine was lucky to survive and move forwards with her life, but for some people this isn't the case, and West Midlands Police are hoping to tackle this dangerous crime.
If you do try and chance it, we will be behind you, we will be stopping you, and the consequences are huge. You're going to lose your licence, potentially your job, potentially your family, and more seriously, you could actually lose a life.
Now, in recent weeks, we've run several news stories looking at how education providers are working with industry to ensure that students are being trained with the relevant workplace skills and knowledge. One scheme in Dudley takes this a step further, and it offers young people an opportunity to be an entrepreneur for a day. We asked Aaron Wiggins to drop in and see how they all got on.
As we are well and truly into December, everyone can be excused for getting into the Christmas spirit, but in Brierley Hill, the early celebrations had a slight twist. Camped behind their market stalls were several teenagers from the area who were on hand selling goods from their own business ideas as part of the Teenage Markets Initiative, designed to help young people start businesses.
It's a chance for them really to just dip their toe into running their own business on a small scale. And we've also got performers, so it's a great opportunity for young people to get up on a stage and perform and just have a ready-made audience. We've had kids come along, with the support of their parents. We've had Ranger Scouts, we've got Dudley College coming along, we've got business students, so there's a whole range of people doing it, and it's just a great opportunity for them.
From t-shirts to bags, there was a little bit of everything on offer for the general public. The event is the fourth of its kind in Dudley this year, with this one coinciding with the Christmas light switch on. All of the profits made by those involved were for them to keep, something that is hoped will help build the economy in the coming years.
I think especially in Dudley we need more people to get this creative thinking and to come up with some creative business ideas to turn the towns and the cities around here that have gone a bit slow and a bit dead, bring them back to life with their stalls.
When Mum says it's a market, I was like, I don't really like markets. I'm not used to talking to people a lot. But then everyone says I'm really confident, so I thought it'd be a push forward out of my comfort zone.
The teenage markets are set to continue into the new year, giving the next generation the opportunity to experience what it is like to run a business from a young age. And if in turn it means a surge in young and successful entrepreneurs in Dudley, then there certainly will be plenty to sing and dance about. Aaron Wiggins, Birmingham News.
Now, we've seen a lot of jolly old St Nick so far this month on his whistle-stop tour of the Midlands. This time he's been over in Solihull visiting children's parties as part of a local charity's attempts to ensure that children in the Midlands have at least one special day to remember this Christmas. Tom Bowen has more.
For most of us, Christmas is a time for celebration and spending time with loved ones. But amongst the mince pies and drink, it's easy to take it for granted. Variety, the children's charity, work with children from a range of backgrounds to ensure that children across the region have at least one special day to remember.
We've got 200 children from disadvantaged backgrounds but also disabled children, and we provide them with a memorable day. And so we've got a Christmas party happening whereby they have a festive, fun-filled afternoon. Santa's here providing each child with a gift. And just really an opportunity for children to enjoy themselves and have a bit of fun.
It's not every day that you get to meet Santa Claus, so just what do days like this mean to the children?
It's just really special for them to come out of their comfort zone, mingle with other schools and have the opportunity to meet other children as well. They've just absolutely loved it.
And what was their favourite part of the day?
Dancing, because I like the song. Going to see Santa and doing the dancing. My favourite part's been seeing Santa, and I like seeing Santa because it's been fun. Seeing Santa Claus.
And it's a special year for Variety as they celebrate 50 years of their Great Days Out programme.
Variety's Great Days Out programme is whereby we send children on great days out, memorable days out that otherwise children wouldn't get the opportunity to do. So it's 50 years of that this year, and we often send children to the cinema, to the seaside. We'll put on events such as our Christmas parties for those children, and as I say, it's an opportunity that those children often won't actually have, so we provide those.
But none of it could happen without the help of local businesses, with many providing presents for the children.
We've been really fortunate when you talk to businesses and you actually explain, you know, we quite often take Christmas for granted when actually there's children out there that won't be receiving a Christmas present, and they're all really keen to get on board, especially with the Christmas toy appeal whereby businesses are able to provide Christmas presents. So the majority response is that people are really keen to support us, and we're really fortunate.
Tom Bowen, Birmingham News.
So then, time for another break, and when we come back, Johnny Doon will be here for his pick of the gigs. Plus, we have an appointment with Jason in the Milk Bar to see who he's been talking to during this week. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the final part of today's programme with me, Lee Bannister. Right, now we turn to the Milk Bar with Jason Forrest. And as ever, the Milk Bar reflects what's happening in and around our area, often with a focus on the city of Wolverhampton. Now you can hear it on the radio and as a podcast. And now Jason's here with us each week with one of his guests.
On the 17th of December at the Slade Rooms, Wolftown takes place once more. To tell us more about it, George from Tindastronaut. Hello.
Hi. Wolftown is the second gig which we're going to play under this sort of brand name. There's 5 bands performing for £5. Blit Black and the Chili Holers, Tindastronaut, Runaway Hounds, and Hoods and Secondhand Jeans. It's slightly different in the fact that the promoters are also the band, so we're going to be putting a lot of time and extra effort into it compared to the gigs that we usually do.
Yeah, because we've got loads of the gang with us. We've got 2 more members of Tindastronaut here as well, brother of George. And so, Arnie, tell us a bit about what this sort of gig means to you.
Well, it's really important to us because we've spent, I don't know how long, probably about 6 months now, since we sort of decided on the date and stuff like that. So we've been working hard, printing off posters, putting them around everywhere.
And it is all about the promo and Matt. I mean, obviously you've got to make this work, but if it's anything like last time round, it's going to be really well received.
Wolftown's kind of like a scene that we've watched grow over the past year or so. We've done a few gigs, we've seen the hype grow, and hopefully 17th December we'll have a good turnout and it'll be a good night to remember.
And Tindastronaut aren't the only band there we've got representatives from. We have from Blit Black and the Chili Holders, we've got Jake as well. So again, going to be good for you boys to do your bit?
Yeah, definitely. Today we've just been going around Wolverhampton, putting up posters and everything. We've
we've been asking like shops and stuff, local shops, whether we can put the posters up and just like really getting it out there, make sure people know about the Wolftown scene and making sure that they listen to our music as well. That's very important. We just want to just keep carrying it on, like making it bigger and bigger so that more people know about us. So.
And it's a great venue as well. I mean, to play something like the Slade Rooms, often bands have been going for significantly longer even than Tindaston. I mean, you guys have been together for a few years now, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. But we just thought, the last gig that we played at New Hampton Arts Centre, we sold, I think it was 275 tickets. And that was, I don't want to rub, that was like relatively easy, but it was such a good night. So basically with Jake's leadership and blinding optimism, we're going to move forward to the Slade Rooms. It's a big jump. I think it's 550 capacity. But ticket sales are going really well so far, and we're expecting a lot more to come soon, so I think it'll be a good night.
Well, fingers crossed. If people do want to get hold of tickets, not only can they look out for the posters to get full details, how can they do it?
So there's the obvious traditional way of contacting myself or Jake or Matt or Arne or anyone in any of the bands, but also on the Wolverhampton Civic website, on the Slade Rooms website, you can buy tickets for £5 as well.
So just pick them up £5 and for £5, £1 a go, and a really good night. I mean, when it comes down to, so you've been together, what is it, about 5 years or something now for a Tindaston?
5 years, yeah. 5 years on Christmas Eve.
So it's a bit of an anniversary that it's worth marking too with this gig just beforehand.
Yeah, always, and it's nice as well because me and Jake, we're living in Nottingham at the moment. We're at university there, and a lot of the other band members. So Jimmy from our drummer is in Nottingham as well. Nathan's up in Manchester. And everyone will come back to Wolverhampton for the Christmas period, and almost like a reunion, I suppose. Yeah,
chance to get together and enjoy the music, enjoy probably a drink or two, and make the most of Wolverhampton's music scene, because that in itself is really big and vibrant.
Yeah, certainly. I know I think it's the 15th or the 20th anniversary of Blast Off Club Night at the main Civic Hall. The same night, so as soon as Wolftown is finished, I think Blast Off doors open, so we're hoping to sort of get a bit of a movement from our gig over to Blast Off, because that's a fantastic night out for music as well.
Well, check out the bands first of all. Let's take your web address so people can find out more about Tindaston. Where can you be found?
Facebook, search Tindaston. It's a very unique name, so it will be on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Instagram, but also www.tindaston.com.
And for Blip Black and the Chili Holders, again, quite a unique name.
Yeah, definitely. You can get in touch with it on Instagram and Facebook. That's our main social media that we use mainly, yeah. And Spotify as well. If you want to go and check us out on Spotify, you can. Just Blip Black and the Chili Holders.
And remind us again the rest of the bands who are on the night.
Secondhand Jeans. That's Jeans with a G-E-N-E-S. Hoods, U with an umlaut. And Runaway Hounds, it's worth noting actually, Runaway Hounds, it's their first gig together, but we gave them 100 tickets, and I think within 2 weeks they'd sold 100 tickets. So I think they're going to be an absolutely spectacular performance.
Really good night down at the Slade Rooms. To get your tickets, just look for any of the bands. You can find them all on Facebook, or check out the box office at the Civic Hall, and they can sort you out as well. But boys, have a great night and a great gig.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Jason. Cheers.
Thanks, Jason, and we'll have more from the Milk Bar at the same time next week. And of course, you can download and listen to the latest edition of the Milk Bar from the website, which is www.themilkbarpodcast.com. Time now to head on over to meet Johnny Doom at his desk on Amped as he gives us his weekly pick of the upcoming gigs.
Right, it's me, Johnny Doom, from your weekly rock show on Made in Birmingham, Amped. Yeah, you can see it Tuesdays 10, Wednesdays 10:30 and Fridays 10:30. Here's my pick of the gigs. You've got Hacktivist, if you like it heavy. That's 13th of December at the Flapper and Firkin. Korn and Limp Bizkit, what a duo. 15th of December at the Barclaycard Arena. And Clutch, if you want some heavy blues, that's 16th of December at the O2 Institute. And here they are right now with a great track. This is Electric Worry.
Well, you made me weep, and you made me moan. When you caused me to leave, child, my happy home. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore. When What a dirty mistreater, that was no good. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore. Like Henry Ford, Lord, I'd have me a woman, yeah, on every road. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore.
And thanks to Johnny Doom there for his pick of the gigs and also his choice of music. And so it's time to close the pages of the Birmingham News Weekend magazine for Saturday. Now I'll be here at the same time next week, and then you can catch more news for Birmingham, the Black Country and Solihull every day of the week. I'll have your lunchtime edition Monday to Friday at 1 o'clock, and then Mike Prince will be here at 6 and 9 in the evening with the latest for Birmingham, Solihull and the Black Country. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here at the same time tomorrow. Ta-ra bit.